Fighting has been a part of professional hockey for nearly a century, and it's a part of the sport that many fans love.
Make no mistake, when there's a hockey fight, no one leaves their seats. It's the most exciting 30 to 60 seconds in sports. It's two gladiators.
Fighting in just about every other professional sport has serious consequences, such as ejection, suspension, and having to pay big fines. But in hockey, fighting is part of what's known as the code.
Fighting's always sort of been a part of the culture of the game, and the game has always been allowed to police itself. So you do something bad, you pay a consequence. You hit a guy from behind, you're going to lose some teeth. And that's what the code says.
The National Hockey League started regulating fighting back in 1922. The official rule book referred to it as fisticuffs. Today, any penalties assessed for fighting fall under Rule 46, which according to the rule book gives referees very wide latitude in the penalties with which they may impose under this rule.
First of all, we have to acknowledge that fighting is illegal. It is a rule violation. At the most severe end, a player can be ejected with a game misconduct. He can also assess minor penalties if it's a roughing incident. We had bench clearing brawls in the 70s. It was wicked. The emotion of a hockey game and a hockey player at times is unlike any other sport. When you get on the ice and with the speed and the weapon in your hand, hostilities can accelerate quickly. So there's a way to settle it.
A player involved in a fight automatically gets what's known as a major penalty and must sit out for at least 5 minutes of play. Additional penalties can be tacked on.
The game has evolved such that there's minimal fighting as there is. I mean, it's greatly reduced.
The amount of fights in the NHL has decreased. In the 2015-2016 season, fights occurred in just over 23% of the games, compared to the 2009-2010 season when there were fights in over 40% of the games. Even with fighting on the decline, should it still be allowed? We asked one of the league's legendary fighters, former NHL player Chris "Knuckles" Nilan, who in his career served more than 3,000 minutes in the penalty box.
I think if you polled the players and asked them, they'd probably say, keep it so just in case when two guys get so pissed off at each other, maybe because one guy stuck a stick in his ribs and then he finally says, I've had enough, and wants to drop his gloves and break his nose. It makes guys think twice sometimes about taking liberties with other people if there's someone there that can come and settle things down.
The NHL declined to comment for this story, but NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman said this to Sports Illustrated in June 2016.
Fighting has been a part of the game. It does act as a thermostat in the game. This is a physical game, and fighting isn't the only issue. And in fact, fighting may help prevent other injuries.
No player in the NHL has ever died as the result of a fight, but if that happens, everything could change. If it happens in the U.S.
If a player gets killed, God forbid, if that happens during a Montreal-Toronto game, we're okay. A jury of their peers is going to understand. They grew up playing hockey. If it happens with a Florida Panthers versus Phoenix Coyotes game, we're fucked.